Gold FM is #1 here in Sigatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Levuka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nelly.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about bottled cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sabi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
In this bulletin, government announces 7-member electoral commission that will supervise the general elections. Police see 70 marijuana plants in early morning raid in Levuka. And drivers count their lucky stars after escaping serious injuries and death in a Langere accident. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. His Excellency the President Ratoepeli Nailatikau this afternoon has appointed the Electoral Commission. The long-awaited appointment was released by the Minister for Elections, Ayasaid Kayum, this afternoon. Apisolo Levuka reports.
The Electoral Commission is made up of 7 prominent citizens from various walks of life.
The chair of the Electoral Commission will be Mr. Chen Ban Yang, the former president of the Fiji Law Society and a leading legal practitioner in Fiji. The number 2, not necessarily in order of importance, but the second commissioner is Professor Vijay Naidu of USP. As you know, is a well-known academic, board member, I understand still is, of CCF, and is set on various other committees and boards. The third commissioner is Father David Arms. As most of you are aware of him, he's an electoral expert and has worked in Fiji for a number of years now, originally from New Zealand. He works with the Catholic Church and has been a consultant to the People's Charter for Peace, Change and Progress. The fourth member of the Commission will be Ms. Alisi Daurewa, as you know, is a civil society NGO representative and is also an academic, has written several articles on leadership, governance, etc., and sits on the Provincial Council of Kandavu. The fifth commissioner is Mr. Larry Thomas, who is also an academic but more known for his playwright skills and filmmaking, and has been very much involved with the media in Fiji. The sixth member of the commission is Mr. James Soane, who is from the private sector, is the youngest member of the commission, and he's also got a lot of experience in marketing also, and is a very good member of the private sector. And the last but not least is Ms. Jenny Sito, who is a leading accountant and financial advisor.
Sayed Kayum says government is satisfied with the appointments.
All of these people have of course been appointed for the various and respective skill sets they'll bring to the commission. They are all apolitical individuals and have integrity and credibility, which is what the Fijian Elections Office is supposed to be now.
The Commission will have a briefing with the government early next week. Under the terms of the 2013 Constitution, the Electoral Commission is responsible for the registration of all voters and the conduct of free and fair elections. Sayed Kayum says they expect to appoint the supervisor for elections sometime soon.
Meanwhile, the Elections Office has announced it will be making appointments for 34 more posts, and another 230 more positions will be advertised in Saturday's Fiji Sun. Apisolo Levuka, FBC News.
More than 70 plants up to 15 feet tall believed to be marijuana were uprooted from a home in the Laisese settlement in Levuka early this morning. Officers from the Canine and Drug Unit raided the home of a 38-year-old woman and her 35-year-old husband in a joint operation. Police allege the woman and her husband were cultivating a marijuana plantation. After searching the home, officers trekked more than 3 hours inland and found the farm where the plants were being cultivated. $700 cash was also retrieved from the home. The woman has been taken into custody, but police are still looking for her husband. Police Chief of Operations ACP Rusiate Tundravu says the drug unit will conduct similar operations around the country. He is warning those currently involved in such illegal activities to refrain from doing so, or they will face the full brunt of the law. 3 drivers are counting their lucky stars today after cheating death in an early morning accident at Langere outside Suva. According to witnesses at the scene, a vehicle allegedly traveling at a high speed hit another car before it climbed onto an island, then allegedly hit another oncoming car. It then veered off the road and crashed into a shop before finally stopping at the foot of the shop's driveway. When FBC News arrived at the scene, the car was lodged into the soil at the bottom of the driveway. The driver of one of the 2 cars that was hit was still in shock when we spoke to him.
I was traveling towards Suva when I saw this Toyota Fielder hit one of the Yaris vehicles, crossed the island, hit my vehicle, crossed another pavement, and went and hit the shop. This was about 10 to 8 in the morning.
Police say the driver of the car that is involved in this accident is currently admitted in hospital. The 3rd and final batch of free education grant checks for the first term of school has been distributed to all schools. The Education Ministry today deposited about $21.9 million into school accounts around the country. To date, the eligible 904 schools, including new infant, primary and secondary schools, have received the free education grant. About $7 million was disbursed in the first batch of checks, with $7.7 million in the second batch. The ministry is requesting all school heads to check the school bank accounts to confirm that they have received the grant. Meanwhile, all school heads and management have been directed to maintain proper record books that will display usage of all government grants. Discrepancies in the school accounts may prompt the ministry to intervene and institute disciplinary actions or legal proceedings against the school or individual implicated. Fiji has handed over the G77 China chairmanship to the government of Bolivia. The handover ceremony was carried out at the United Nations office in New York today. Ritika Pratap reports.
Fiji's Foreign Minister Ratu Inoke Kumbumbula expressed his appreciation and gratitude to the member states of the Group of 77 and China for their engagement, guidance and support during Fiji's tenure as chairman.
It was a year when member states were tasked to implement the follow-up processes to the Rio Plus 20 conference. A year when our political leaders reaffirmed their collective commitment to accelerate the achievement of the Millennium Development Goals by 2015. And a year that required us to deliberate on the creation of sustainable development goals in the context of the post-2015 development agenda.
Ratu Inoke also says the group faces a lot of challenges and they need to maintain their collective demands.
Challenges ahead demand our strong response and innovative approaches to address systemic and global problems. It is imperative that we continue to call for an international development architecture that is conducive and responsive to the needs and priorities of the developing world.
He told the group Fiji has confidence that under the leadership of Bolivia, the group's collective effort and perseverance will reach new levels. Ratu Inoke has also renewed Fiji's full support to Bolivian President Evo Morales as he takes up the chairmanship.
With confidence that under the leadership of Bolivia, the group's collective effort and perseverance will reach new levels in continuing the advance of the development agenda of developing countries.
The group, established in 1964 by 77 states, now includes more than 130 countries, some 2/3 of the UN membership and over 60% of the world's population. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, parents advised to shop wisely as children prepare to go back to school.
Today FM is #1 here in Singapore.
We like Today FM in Lambasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
Listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks in Sabah.
Loto kasi di love today's kid music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Univer Lambasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. With the new school term only days away, thousands of consumers are flocking to shops to buy school materials. The Fiji Consumer Council is advising people to plan their shopping and is demanding that schools refrain from directing parents to buy from a particular shop. Neelam Raj reports.
The time of the year when parents and children flock out in numbers to towns and cities to do back-to-school shopping. The Consumer Council of Fiji is directing parents not to follow orders from schools to buy stationery from a particular supplier.
The schools cannot force that onto any parents or to any school children. They cannot dictate what parents should, the brand or the type of book the parents can buy. That choice is with the parents because it's a question of affordability.
Some schools are found to be directing parents to buy a particular brand of exercise books, notebooks, and other similar items from outlets preferred by schools.
Our research has shown that exercise books are far cheaper in the supermarkets than in the traditional bookshops. So I would be saying to the parents that you need to compare the prices, and while you're doing your grocery shopping, it's better to look at the prices of the exercise books and other stationery items that you need for the children.
Kumar is also urging parents to do comparative shopping, as this will enable them to save a few dollars. Some parents gave a mixed opinion on the prices this year.
The prices of school materials has increased.
Gone to many bookshops, and there is a big differences in some of the bookshops, and I would like to advise parents that while they do the shopping, they have to be very smart and look around for books in many different bookshops and buy from the cheapest bookshop.
Meanwhile, the Commerce Commission is also urging members of the public, in particular parents, to contact the Commission should they encounter any evidence of schools influencing parents to purchase materials from any particular outlet. Neelam Raj, FBC News.
The Fiji National University has revealed plans to build a multi-million-dollar medical campus on land they are acquiring from the Levuka City Council. However, the council says it has not given any approval to the FNU and has denied claims that it will give a part of the botanical gardens to build a campus. Christopher Chand reports.
At yesterday's FNU Levuka campus graduation, the Vice-Chancellor announced new projects earmarked for the Sugar City.
To give a part of the land, which is now known as Fena Park, and part of the botanical garden to FNU to build a $30+ million medical campus, all in Levuka.
However, the City Council has denied this, saying they will not give any land from the botanical gardens and will first hold a meeting with stakeholders to decide on whether this park land right next to the Levuka Hospital can be given to the FNU.
We have only one botanical garden in Fiji, and we well with the importance of the botanical garden. And as I mentioned earlier, we will have to take the request to the stakeholders of Levuka City Council for Levuka City for a decision on the request.
Although the council is calling for consultations on the FNU's proposed medical college, the same wasn't required for the recently announced Tapu City development.
We're not saying no to FNU. We need to go through the process and consult our stakeholders.
FNU says plans are also in place to expand their Natambua campus at an estimated cost of $27 million and develop a technical training college in Levuka. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Permanent secretaries will for the first time be responsible for all government ministries. This means that all administrative work and ministerial budgets will now be controlled by the permanent secretaries. Fositikote Wasawasa reports.
While the emphasis will be on how capital projects are carried out within all government ministries, permanent secretaries will be monitored on how they manage their roles.
When we say that we monitor ministry, it means that we are also monitoring the work of the permanent secretaries. So the permanent secretaries are the ones who will be responsible for the implementation of the budget, especially the 60% target that government is focusing on towards the end of June this year.
Beseti Moala says with the power of hiring and firing given to the permanent secretaries, it will be upon them to see to the successful implementation of all policies within their various ministries.
Permanent secretaries, according to the Constitution, they have been given powers to control the ministries. So the role, in fact, the role of monitoring the permanent secretaries, that will be done by the Public Service Commission, and they will be consulting the Prime Minister on that. Since all appointments for the permanent secretary is done by the permanent secretary after consultation with the Prime Minister.
Beseti Moala adds that the Prime Minister's office will not only monitor all capital projects on a monthly basis, but also the performance of all permanent secretaries. Busita Kote Wasawasa, FBC News.
That time again, and here's Jamie now with all the sports.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up, Ben Ryan gives us a few hints about who might make his 16-man 7 squad, and international ranking points on offer at this weekend's Golf Challenge at Pacific Harbour. Stay with us for all the details.
Nambula FM rake talitaki.
Golnga elambasa Mbula FM number 2 na sere.
Ndu talita kana borong en Mbula FM number 2 na sere su.
Kau buat tu geraki au rebot tu nistima au ndu talita kana borong en Mbula.
Bola bina Fiji, Mbula FM number 2 Singatoka.
Bola bina era roga. Mbula FM number 2 Tikoga.
Bula FM number 2 en sere.
Welcome back. First up in sports tonight, Coach Ben Ryan took his squad through another grueling session this morning in Pacific Harbour, with the 16-man Fiji 7 side to be named tomorrow. Indra Singh was at training this morning, where Ryan also indicated his skipper will keep the leadership role.
Laying down the rules of engagement, skipper Osea Kolinisao relaying the message of his coach at training this morning, confirming that the captain will remain for the Las Vegas and Wellington tournaments.
There's no reason to change the captaincy, that's for sure, and I can't see that changing all year.
Ryan all but gave it away that rugged Levani Botia will be included in his final team. Botia is making a comeback to the abbreviated code after a stint with the Flying Fijians last November.
You know, it's good that we've got people like Levani still coming back in, and you know, good to have other leaders around. You can't survive with just one captain that's the only leader in the squad. You need a number of them.
Lenki Pio Tuai is still absent from the training grounds, but the barman is sure to be included in the 16.
I'll be naming him in that 16-man squad for sure. So you know, he's got, you know, some family health issues there, and that's a priority. We know that's important. But he's been keeping in touch with everyone to make sure everyone knows what's going on. So no, I expect him to be named in the 16.
Ryan has full faith in his brigade, hinting there will be a few changes in the side that played in Dubai and South Africa. What mix he comes up with will be known tomorrow. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Ben Ryan says he's hoping the focus will be on the team rather than him in the next few weeks. There's been a lot said about Ryan not being paid since taking up the post in October. However, Ryan says with him now having signed the contract, he's hoping the focus will now shift to his brigade. 30 of the country's top golfers will face off in the Champion versus Champion Challenge this weekend in Pacific Harbour. Defending champion Olaf Allen Jr. is not only looking at reclaiming his title, international ranking points are also on offer. Salindao Dakadaka has more.
National golfer Olaf Allen Jr. wants to start the year exactly the way he finished last year, winning the Pacific Harbour Open in Dumba. The two-day champion versus champion tournament pits the best local golfers against each other, and Allen is looking at a back-to-back win.
It's one of the major tournaments on the calendar now, in the new national golf tournaments calendar. So it's an honor to win this tournament.
There is also much more on offer for players other than a top spot finish.
This tournament is very important for all the players participating because it offers the world ranking points. World ranking points is given to the top 3 players, and these points entitles the players to be selected to events in Australia and in Asia, where they get invited and everything is paid for. So top 2 players in July would be invited, so whatever points they get out of this tournament will be very important.
The Champion versus Champion Golf Challenge will also serve as the first trial for the World Cup to be played in Japan in September. Chalendo Dakavak, FBC Sports.
The Nandi football side is training hard in preparation for the Pillay Garments Champion versus Champion match against Mba on Saturday. The two rivals meet in the first clash of the year, and Nandi understands it will not be easy going against defending champions. All regular players are training with the Jet Setters in their bid to win the first ever CBC title. The second leg of the semi-final will be played on January 21st. That's it from Sports Tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Asia is about to become a lucrative market for Fiji and the Pacific. Vigorous campaigning by the South Pacific Tourism Organization in Asia this year is expected to increase Asian tourists arriving to our shores. Aliti Vervo reports.
The South Pacific Tourism Organization is targeting new niche markets in the Asia region this year. Chief Executive Officer Ilisoni Vundraketi says it has targeted these countries for very specific reasons.
So China offers a very lucrative opportunity for us in the sense that it is a growing economy in the world today, and also we've found out from our research an increase in outbound tourist market from China. It goes into something like 160 million plus, and it's growing. So when we look at that, we see that as an opportunity for Pacific Island countries.
Vundraketi says SPTO is looking into developing niche marketing, which includes the promotion of specific segments such as the fishing and dive markets.
We're looking at participating in special niche events, but otherwise they continue to be a growth market for Fiji and our other Pacific Island member countries.
Meanwhile, Australia and New Zealand will remain the Pacific region's biggest tourism market, and the SPTO does not project any major change in this. Aliti Vervo, FBC News.
Now for the weather report, another very hot day in the capital, Jen.
Yes, Jackie, another day of intense heat, not just in Suva, but throughout the country. Savu, however, managed to cool down with some afternoon showers. A late but very welcome Christmas gift for those this side of Vanua Levu. Now, I never ever thought that I would see this number on our chart here. Guess there's a first time for everything. The sugar city's on a sweltering 35 degrees. Yes, your hearing's fine. It was that hot today. And get this, Jackie, Ba and Nandi are both on 34, which was yesterday's highest. Well, they don't call it the Blazing West for nothing. Looking at the forecast, not much change in conditions, more heat to come with probable showers in Savu and cloudiness in Lambasa. And finally, Malolo is where it's at this evening. This gorgeous island located in the Mamanuthas is just candy for the eyes. A definite holiday prospect, don't you think?
I definitely agree. Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. Recapping our news, government announces 7-member electoral commission that will supervise the general elections. Police seize 70 marijuana plants in early morning raid in Tailevu, and drivers count their lucky stars after escaping serious injuries and death in a Langara accident. To the poll question this week, we're asking, should the government fast-track its projects for 2014? Go to www.fbc.com.fj to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's your news for tonight. I'll be back again tomorrow. Until then, good evening.
Ito singa to kung tali ta na warong na radio Fijuan na station yang mutua.
Ako na koro ko na tali ta. Mandaw tali ta kini na warong radio Fijuan.
Kita ngoi su untuk tali ta na warong na radio Fijuan na station yang mutua.
Kito tali ta na radio Fijuan. Na radio Fijuan ento tali ta kita nga Sintoka.
Station di Matchdo Pinatia na radio Fijuan. Kompan Beyan.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nandu mai viti na bonga ni BNN.